Despite its massive size, ability to travel long distances, and continually expanding population, the moose is not a commonly seen member of the wildlife community here in the Adirondacks. The moose's tendency to remain within the protective cover of the forest understory and its nocturnal leanings limit moose sightings in the Adirondacks, even in those sections of the park where this hoofed mammal has become fairly common. Throughout most of the day, the moose rests or confines its wanderings to areas of dense forest, particularly in backcountry settings where few human encounters are likely. It is not until shadows lengthen with the approach of sunset and the background develops the same deep chocolate color as its coarse fur that the moose begins to venture into more open places. Similarly, during the twilight of dawn, when a shroud of fog occasionally engulfs the wetlands preferred by this giant, the moose is known to periodically stray into more open places to forage. Like the whitetail, the moose is a strict herbivore with a selective sense of taste. Although it is surrounded by vegetation, the moose is unable to digest many of the plants that compose our northern woodlands. During the colder months of the year, moose must rely on the buds, shoots, and tender young twigs of certain trees and shrubs like striped maple and willow. The needle-like foliage of the balsam fir is also browsed by this creature after our deciduous trees have become bare. The need for tree browse causes the moose to remain in settings that create limited visibility, thereby making sightings of this mammoth beast a challenge, even for people that spend a fair amount of time in the woods. During the growing season, the moose frequents various wetlands in order to dine on certain types of aquatic greenery. Moose may wander at times along the edge of secondary roads to nibble on some of the herbaceous plants that develop on these sunny sites. However, many of the succulent plants that are consumed by moose during the warmer months of the year occur in dense alder thickets that effectively keep this horse-sized animal hidden from the view of any passerby. Despite the lack of natural enemies in the Adirondacks, moose do not linger in open places during the day. Even during the evening, the moose exhibits a tendency to remain on the move when browsing. The large quantity of vegetation that this massive mammal is able to gulp down in a short span of time can have a noticeable impact on the health of the plants on which it feeds. Within the time it takes to run into the grocery store to pick up a handful of items, one of these foraging Goliaths can partially level a patch of preferred plants, thereby forcing the creature to move to a spot further along in the brush from where it started to feed. While most individuals tend to remain in one general area for several weeks to a month or more, this long-legged animal has incredible travel stamina and can walk dozens of miles within a day when the urge to relocate strikes. From mid-September through much of October, male moose are especially prone to wander across vast stretches of terrain. This inclination to travel in the autumn is part of the moose's mating urge, as individuals attempt to locate females that are nearing their heat period. While the breeding season for moose in the Adirondacks lasts only a few weeks, the bulls begin to search for potential breeding partners well in advance of the actual rutting season. It is important for motorists traveling on secondary roads around sunrise and sunset at this time of the year to be especially alert for moose that may be just off the shoulder and ready to step onto the pavement. The dark color of a moose's fur, along with the fact that their eyes do not reflect the light given off by a car's headlamps, contribute to the challenge of spotting one that is ready to cross a road. It is hard to imagine that an animal the size of a moose would be so difficult to see in the wilds. Yet sightings of this creature are still a rare treat for anyone that lives and travels here in the Adirondacks.